hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Lorena Creole, bringing you that spice to sci-fi and pop culture analysis and keeping it real when it comes to theme parks. And welcome to the episode of the After School Special that I'm pretty sure all of you have been waiting for, and that is the discussion of part two of Masters of the Universe Revelation, which dropped today. And we got a lot to slug through with this one. And of course, I am definitely not I can't do this. Well, I'm forced to do this sober, but I definitely can't do it alone. This feels like group therapy. Everybody
Hold on,
everybody
hold.
Skeletor, I don't think you have enough glasses.
I don't think there's enough olives to put through my eye sockets.
There isn't enough oxygen to talk about this.
Can I have a question quickly to ask,
Right,
Kate? I'm
there
not going
isn't.
to. We can spoil it later if we have to. But
Uh-huh.
remember when Evelyn got her new helmet? Was that a Skeletor implying that she was bat poop crazy?
I
I
don't
don't know.
that had
Her
not occurred to
cowl.
me.
Yeah.
And I really didn't think crazy when she got it.
No, but it was supposed to symbolize bat. You know the term bat as crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh.
I just didn't get that.
Yeah. I don't know. Hi, chat. I just ruined the whole conversation. The Wilkin. It's definitely He-Man. There's my fun when I smash my hand on my face.
Oh no, you're cool. You're cool. I'm just like I just never got that kind of vibe when I saw that headgear on her. I just thought it was
Why a bat?
There were so many physical changes in this one.
Oh, that's yeah.
Yeah,
I'll save
can
that
we
for-
can we talk about the hair? Can we talk about
What,
the
the
hair?
sexy hair? That's sexy hair.
No, you mean that military buzz gut?
No, what this?
Yes, that one. That one.
Straight out of It's Ma'am.
She will Lynn. Hold on a second. I'm gonna get to the chat in a minute, but I have to show you what set me off this morning, and I know I'm not alone. This is from Neon from Clownfish TV, and this is exactly what he posted.
What's
And
the
no
gem doing?
Are the V lines supposed to be there? I thought V lines were more like prominent on males, and that's to lead up to where the junk is. Am I wrong on this?
No, the gem has replaced whatever pussy or dick she had, whatever
her belly button ring, her got
gem
big.
is, or whatever was there. It's a gemstone. It's a
her belly. No, it's not a gemstone. It's literally her bedazzler from her belly button to hold up the rest of her man parts.
I'm sorry. I used to go to the gym with female bodybuilders.
So I might be wrong.
They did not look like this.
Because I was a cyclist, right? Eventually you develop your L lines like that go right there, right? So I'm used to always seeing them there, like the V lines when you get underneath your stomach.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm from the women I have dated, I have never seen them prominent like that. Like it's like the landing. It's like the one-way street arrow curvatures. Maybe I'm wrong.
We don't have those.
No, not like that. If you cut like her face off, like her neck from her neck up, I would think it was a dude with his nails panels. With his nails painted,
like a penis pouch or a banana hammock with a gem on it, or
cod piece. I don't know.
Can we add something else to this? Let's look at that picture compared to this one. Why is it her boobs turn into pecs in different poses?
Because
look how they're up. Look how high they are up there. But when she starts doing that weird flex, they somehow get lost and then just choose to sit in between abs. I'm sorry, I'm just being a little facetious with my criticism.
Go ahead.
Photoshop, you experiment. You're like, oh, I picked the wrong one. I meant the female abs, not the male abs.
It's another heavy warrior.
Are you?
You know what, dude? You're not wrong. It's like we got, Shiva Lynn is pretty much what we got, and anything that was remotely feminine about her just went out the freaking window. I don't know who made that call, but it was stupid. I don't know. I guess they're trying to say that Evelyn's not worth anything unless she's built like a man.
If you heard the saying, just put a flag over the face and you're good to go. This is put the flag over the body and you're good to go. Like right now, all I want to do is make out with that haircut.
Could
That's
not be
about
reached
it.
for further comments, and that's definitely a drag queen. Oh man. Well, folks, we are going to get into your comments. So welcome. I see people floating, dragging in into the chat, but we are so glad to help you to have you guys here because we're gonna we're oh good God. We are gonna talk about this part two because it's and we were talking about this backstage. It's almost as if it went in the other direction in the wrong way. Like two separate things. It's not a totally cohesive story. So I don't know what kind of emergency meeting that they had in between parts one and two, but it's obvious something definitely was afoot. So Keely Chow says, "Hey everybody." Well, hello Keely and Roll
Hi.
Tide, and so glad you are here with us. Let's see, and we have Snortopoopus Q Burr, who is with us.
Hello.
Always glad to see Snortopoopus, and you just gotta love that face. Gotta love that ABI. It's absolutely,
Uh,
absolutely cute.
can I ask one question though? Quickly
Sure.
before we quick
Yes.
check. Like, is anyone else disappointed that none of the other people who are wielding whatever powers are flying around in these episodes, not one of them had a Sailor Moon transformation like He-Man? Nobody else had a Sailor Moon transformation. Do you notice that? Not no one else.
In this one, I think they probably used it a little with the sorceress. Well, I guess Tila, her little. I think they spent all the Sailor Moon transformation budget on that part. At least
I
it
can
seemed
great.
that way to me.
I want to grate cheese on her abs and then serve tacos to the local community. I don't know why.
I
It's
don't
so not.
know.
That's not a woman's
It's
abs.
That's
disgusting.
what I'm saying. It will grate the cheese and tell me how demasculated I
It's
look.
just that the point of that medallion, that diamond
Yeah.
medallion,
Is
is
that where her
so.
power is? Like Fat
It's where her
Steven. Who is that
penis.
Uterus.
guy in My Hero Academia? The one with
Oh,
the
oh,
belly
like a belly
button?
button team? Yeah. It's the
Aqua.
uterus gem. That's where all the great skull is stored. Let me tell you something.
Oh my goodness. Morgan
When she
King.
clenches,
So
uterus
repulsive.
crumbles.
It really is. Well,
It's
Morgan
just like,
King,
Hey, man.
welcome. Says hello everyone and panel. Well, hello to you. And we have a Polymuse minion who says hello and good afternoon
hey,
all. Well, hello and good afternoon to you. We've got Louise X Sparrow is here with us.
Louise.
Hello, Louise. Says good evening. Good evening to you.
What?
Healy Chow, I'm watching Batwoman while I'm sober. Oh, you poor thing.
What?
You poor thing. And Release the McCracken is here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was doing that too when I saw this. I thought it was a joke when it happened on screen. I'm like, what is it? Like everybody can do this. Skeletor did it. Now she doesn't. Come on, this has got to be like a bad dream or something like that. But nope, nope. She transformed. The next thing we know, she had a butch haircut and six packs abs with the
That, um,
uterus gem
um,
there.
that no, what bothers me about that because last time we talked, we definitely had booty from Evelyn like this. I don't know where
Yes.
the abs fit on the booty like that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
Good.
don't.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
oh, she
sorry.
kicked me for my booty.
No,
All right.
I thought it was a separate one. No, but that's yeah, that's this is the Evelyn that I thought I was gonna get.
What?
If
Yeah.
they were gonna transform her, I thought maybe she would have
Oh,
like living hair and like all
it
kinds of
looked like
weird
that.
powers
But
and like
Make her
go-go
sexy.
boots on or something.
But it felt like that. You remember when we first saw it, when they gave us the boots, like they were going to do the scroll up, right?
Yeah.
I was really expecting, oh, we're going to get 80s Evelyn in a sexy outfit. It's sexy time in He-Man Revelation. What the hell is ma'am, sir, doing?
I would have been happy with a string bikini, you know, a thong.
At least a
know,
sausage cart. A sausage
like a-
cart in front. You know,
like
just
a
you want a hot
female
dog?
bodybuilder. Have you ever seen
Yeah.
like the female bodybuilder competitions? And they have, you
the
know,
little
this
thong, the little thonga, you know, a string everywhere.
exactly.
And they're coy and like, yeah.
I look hot.
No,
So
I'm
you're gonna
not.
pose for me, right? I
That's
look
right.
good, right? I look good. I look good. Good look.
What?
This this is not what we got. Not what we
Oh
got
my
at
god!
all.
It's like a Street Fighter character came to life.
Hello, Dean Krantz. Good to see you.
Yeah,
Good
that's
to
a very
see
good
you.
analogy.
Yes, HM Hevelin. Yes. It's oh god. I'm just like that's a crazy outie belly button.
I'm sorry. There has to be a penis under there. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, let's give you the next 5 episodes where on Evelyn is her junk.
They really do, Dean Krantz. You are absolutely right because Frank Vizetta has
what a genius
he's the standard. Any I'm not deep into fantasy, but anytime I see fantasy art, I immediately think of that guy because his art is just absolutely
that great
gorgeous.
Star Wars poster too that we love. In addition to all those Conan beautiful body, you know, pictures of him, and just would you buy the book because the book cover looked so good.
You know what's really weird? When I first read Dean Kranz's name, I thought it was Dean Koontz. Like, I've read some of your books, and then I was like, oh, not the author I thought it was. Okay, my bad.
Hello, Commander Ed Stracker Shadow. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I do appreciate that, my dear. He says, "What's up with Evil Lynn's cannibal parents?" Yeah, I know. What the frick was up with that? There was something out of like Grimm's fairy tales or something.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah,
that was weird. And hiding in a sewer for 20 years. Yeah,
I'm not buying that.
That's as I told you, there's a fishbowl of wishes and dreams, and everybody just throws in all their wishes. And I want there to be a sewer in this, and I want there to be a blue sky, and I want her to have bodybuilding abs, and I want her to have a gem belt. And they just threw everything they could in this bowl, and they weren't going to be satisfied until it was all included in these 5 episodes.
God, it was just bad. Yeah. By the way, there is no cannibalism in the Royal Navy.
You see the other thing that I got from this, where you saw her transformation, and what we're seeing right now on screen, it's making me feel like they were sliding in another trope. Or maybe I'm just seeing or being a little too critical of that, saying even with all the powers of the universe, a woman can't wield it without looking like a man.
I gotta laugh. Looks like she'd fit in Dragon Ball Z.
Exactly, Louise.
Man.
Yes.
It is. Oh my gosh. Exactly, Keely. I've seen bodybuilders who look better than her. Absolutely. Because that's what I thought that we would get. You know, either we get like a bodybuilder or we get like a, female wrestler type of body. But that is not what we get. She, ma'am, and self-hating women of the universe. Oh my gosh. It's just y'all are killing me. Gem Gina, that's
by
a new one.
By the power of Abby.
Honestly, the only thing feminine about her is maybe her head.
Her makeup's on point though.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that stayed.
Wicked.
Yeah.
That stayed.
As you work out, though, I don't know if this is true with most builders. Does the chest area split farther and farther apart because the chest is getting bigger, or is this me just nitpicking the animation?
What, the plate?
Yeah, like just the body type. Like,
I think they got lazy. I really do. I think they got lazy and just said, we'll just use the same digital art that we used for some other guy and put it on Evil Lynn and just put her head on its body. Because there's nothing, I'm sorry, there's nothing feminine about this. She looks like she has the same body that Clamp Champ and Fisto had.
It's like if Angry Amazon went to Hot Topic and dressed herself.
There's just no difference. No difference.
It's
Hey,
almost like they gave up.
Shellback. Yeah,
Those are man arms. Those are literally
exactly.
man arms. Those are man arms.
Exactly. It's like they gave up and said, you know what, shoot, this crap is almost over and I don't want to deal with it, which is a shame. Shellback says, I'm worried about you all. Why are you putting yourselves through this?
I
Stop
didn't
being
put myself through
disadvantaged.
this. She put us through this. We are
I
just here
did.
for the ride.
I
Look at
did.
that pride. Look at the pride in her
I
face.
did.
I got to torture 2 people before Christmas and they can't do crap.
But no, seriously, on
I'm
on
sorry,
on
hamster.
the on the real though, my whole thing is I cannot give a valid criticism unless I fall in this grenade and see all of it. So you guys don't have to. So it's like I can't say, well, I don't like something and I haven't seen it. So you get the benefit of me torturing myself watching it. And then you guys can enjoy, feel my pain, feel my pain.
Along with power comes a big cock. Is that what this is about? Because it's like,
Yes, that is exactly it. She just had to be like Skeletor because she had to outman her man. Granted, she's never been thirsty in any of the other
no.
incarnations of Masters of the Universe, but she had to outman her man, had to show him.
What did you guys think about the legitimate abuse we saw of Skeletor towards Evelyn? Like
I
when
mean, the
he's like choking
emotional.
her, both where he's choking her and like I'm like, wow, okay. You know, I can understand him being mean, but I thought it was a bit much only just because this is, Masters of the Universe.
I think it was
You
pretty
you want to
much.
go ahead?
No, you go first. Go first. I'm gonna go.
Okay. Oh, but first, let me do this for Lord Kamina 2. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I do appreciate that, my dear. Japan does it better. Watch video and notification. Oh, Japan does so much of this stuff, so much
I,
freaking better. Have
I,
you seen the and I forget who did it. I want to say it was Literature Devil who captioned this. That God, it was like a quote from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, but actually it's me, Dio. And
yeah.
I'm like, that so freaking fits.
I want. There's something that what was it? Headspace said, and honestly, if we actually had time and we were done with He-Man, I would say we should do the same style, but for Arcane. Arcane, I've been watching. It's the League of Legends one,
I
and
love Arcane.
but it's isn't it so good?
So good. This is what we were talking
Jinx
about
is
last night
crazy
with
hot.
Hannah.
Like she's outside that scale.
Oh,
Jinx is on the crazy hot scale, like minigun and all. Like
Oh
yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
Arcane is fantastic.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
But to get back to
So,
what
oh god,
was saying earlier, when you're talking about Evelyn and Skeletor's treatment of her, I really didn't like that. That was like they decided to put an abusive relationship front and center, and we've never seen that in He-Man at all. Evelyn, she was way smarter than Skeletor. Too smart to have anybody, use her in that way. But that's what they did in this story. And I don't know why they felt the need to do that. Another thing that I didn't like
to
was they
validate.
had a scene with where they had Fisto and Clamp Champ, and Fisto was basically threatening to punch Andra. I'm like, that didn't sit very well with me either. I've
No,
never seen that, that done. And I
they
really
made
don't
him
understand why they thought that it was a
troglodytes.
good idea to
They made
bring
him.
in exactly. They
They made him
did. You
caveman. They literally made him caveman. It was Quest for Fire, Fisto, and the other dude. It wasn't even good. But like to add to that, maybe the reason why they were so hard with Skeletor in the abuse to add to both you and I can never say that. Never RM. That's what I'm going to say from now on. Is because that was the reasoning to validate her actions through these 5 episodes and how mean she was. It could still fall under the same trope the way we were looking at Tila and how the lie made her a bitch for God knows how long. And now we have Tila, not Tila, but Evelyn doing exactly the same thing. In a way. Sorry.
excuse me, it's ma'am, evil ma'am. Hey, Cavatano. So Evil Lynn is a futanari now. I don't know what that is, but
Oh,
I
that's
need
chicks with
context.
uh-huh.
They certainly kind of made it look that way, didn't they? They really freaking did. Oh my gosh. Poindexter Lounge. There's so many videos I have to catch up with. Let's see. Don't forget the classic side shaved haircut. Trademark. Exactly. Exactly. That's the other thing that pissed me off. I'm like the same shaved side of the head, just like Tila. Just like Tila, same, we're gonna shave the sides of her head and, do something on the top of that. Just like no, it was just not nah, nah, nah. She found Skeletor's secret stash of
Yes.
roids.
Scleroids. Oh my god. Roidator.
Oh my gosh. No
Did.
one involved. Oh, hold on a second. Hello, Sherry. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hello,
Hi.
Lorena Creole.
Hi.
And
Hi.
so good to see you, my dear. Glad you are here with us.
Mhm.
Let's see. Could not be reached for further comment. Says no one involved in this mess has any 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 understanding of the
Yeah.
original series or its concepts.
I'm sorry. It's true.
How long until we get Pfizer Scleroids on the market? How long?
We only have an hour, right?
Yeah, an hour, specifically an hour and 7 minutes. Not enough time, not enough wine, not enough rum.
There's enough pot cookies.
I was going to say, insert your legalized brain
Mm-hmm.
stimulant
Oh my
of
gosh, I'm gonna
choice.
That's
get
the
a
only
cramp
way I
on
was
the
able to
side of
watch
my
this today.
body. I keep laughing through this
Like,
whole.
like, let's just put it this way: it's not even funny when you're on those wavelengths.
No,
No,
Uh,
no, it's like I don't know what I'm watching. Because
how is
Erm
Beastman the
had
most
the
emotional?
best explanation for
yes.
what's going on in part two. Why don't you go ahead and reiterate that one because it was on
Is it
point.
about the kid, the child description? So
Hmm.
this entire second half of the series reminds me of how when you ask a child to tell you a story, and they can't tell you all the parts, but they'll say something like, first the sky was brown, and then something fell out of the sky, and then lights, and then everybody got muscular, and then boom boom boom, and then the whole world flipped over, and the trees went brown, and they just keep going on and on and
Oh,
on
oh,
about.
and then the clouds got black, and then the light came from the sky, and then Grandma brought over cookies, and then that blue man with the sword, um, um, man, looked
Yeah,
like man.
And
yes, yes,
this like robot, but it wasn't
Yeah,
really a robot, and it opened up, and
and
and it's like this Borg
and,
chick
and
came
Jimmy,
down. Is this robot chick came down and had like
tentacles,
and
yeah.
then and then
octopus thingies,
and then he was dying, but then we pulled him back, and they said no, and then we said yes, and then we said hell no, and then they
and
said
then
hell yes, and
and
then
then Jimmy went to the bathroom and got Mom's good towels and put him around his neck like that Uko guy, yeah, Orko guy, and he tried jumping off the couch, and I tried to grab him and say no, come back, and he broke the glass table. Um,
yeah, and that's how
And
it happened.
and the guy with the skeleton
drugs.
head, do you know he has green fire around his neck? How does he not get burned with the green fire like around his neck? I don't get it. I don't
What?
I don't get it.
Here we go. Thank you, space astronaut.
Oh, you know what, Tom Jr. Jackson? I don't know. Although I will say Skeletor's voice really freaking annoyed me in part two. I don't know why. Probably because I miss Peter Cullen's voice, but his voice didn't bother me so much in part one. But in part two, every time I heard him talk, I'm like, that's not Skeletor.
No, it's not. It's the
Yeah, and
Joker.
yeah, it was a very odd voice. And the other thing that I was telling you, Lorena and Stephen, was that this particular season, or let's say a set of episodes, had so much in it that it was like they had a bowl full of wishes in the writers' room, right? And
Hmm.
you just threw in everything you wanted to include in the episode, just everything. And the bowl was filled up to the brim, and to
Hmm.
appease everyone, they were going to include everything they could in what could have been a 5-year series of yes, 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 I agree. In what could have been a 5-year series, they crammed into 5 episodes.
What?
Do you think and I want to know if you guys got the same impression because I did while watching this. Part 1 and part 2 almost look like they were written by two different writing teams.
Yes.
And one
Yeah.
didn't communicate with the other, or they got it and was just looking at it
No.
like, what the frick are we supposed to do with this?
It was like watching Last Jedi and Skywalker in 5 episodes split apart, not working out together.
It was just because I know for me, I did I know I did not like Tila at all. First part at all. I thought she was just, a brat, just bitchy, just, forget you. It's all about my feelings. And then in part two, it's like she switched.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually started, to like her. Like when she found out that that the sorceress was her mother, I actually thought that scene was written relatively well. I
It
actually
was.
thought that. I mean, you could feel that she was like angry, like, how could you leave me? Because that's something very, very primal. How could you leave me? I'm your child. How
Why
could you
don't
leave
you
me?
want me,
So
man?
it's like I can understand that, I can understand that part. And even her, talking to Evil Lynn, saying, you've changed. Yeah, yeah, right, sure. But just her saying that, she wasn't really that aggravating. But then you
Yeah.
turn
Yeah.
around and you see like Evil Lynn, and it's just like, why the frick did they do that to her?
They destroyed the greatest character, the greatest looking character in the first half, which I think is very ironic, because they kind of took that away, and it's too bad.
It's to point out our misogyny, our sexist views on how women should only stay feminine and we shouldn't worry about whatever the belly button ring is covering. They're going to attack all of us on Twitter, and I will just go, not care.
The second half was like an intervention. There was this
Mm-hmm.
intervention when everybody was like, "Well, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry for being such a bitch. No, I'm sorry for lying to you. No, no, I'm going to best you. I'm sorry. I'm having the last word. I'm sorry. There you go."
Mhm.
Well, I don't know if I can, I can't even say this part. I can't even say that part because what she did to one of the realms was just like, okay. And when we're getting in a battle, is anyone else a little weirded out? Like, I don't remember her and the other dude ever talking to back each other up at all through those episodes for what we saw in one of those battles. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Did they ever talk, but magically he was there?
Did who talk? What? I feel like I'm lost.
Okay, Evelyn had backup from someone else during the battle, right?
Oh,
Like,
yes.
was there
Oh,
a
the
scene where
sim?
they were?
Beast
Yeah,
Man.
but were they talk? Did they talk at all during those 5 episodes when she needed an ally or someone to come help fight for her or with her?
No, I
He
think
just showed up out of like they was like the Avengers portals and Endgame, like bam, we're all here now. I'm like, okay.
oh, no, those were who her simp had on a speed dial.
Oh, well, Beastman
Remember,
was.
Beastman was her simp. Beastman is like the friend zone dude. Have you noticed this?
Yeah, he loves chicken
Okay,
wings.
he's in the friend zone. He wants to get out of the friend zone, but Evelyn's like, no, you're gonna stay in the freaking friend zone because you notice he comes out of the shadows. You can do better than Skeletor.
Mm-hmm.
And she basically says, you need to watch your freaking mouth. I don't know who you think you are. And that's the whole thing. But I think,
Yeah.
Beastman, which God, he's been a simp for Evil Lynn, but he was like super simp
He
in
was
in in
also
this.
he was also honest with his feelings without giving away his feelings too. They kind of orcoed him to make him to try to reach Evelyn, going like, just because this, and this doesn't mean you're not doing exactly the same thing that this and this happened.
He tried to talk her down from the ledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, so, but then she turns him into a beast, more or
Hmm.
less. I hope I'm not saying too much, but
Are you more beast than man and more man than beast?
Hmm. But that's kind of like how she treats how she treats him. He kind of tries to, yeah, because it's pretty obvious that he has feelings for her, and that's kind of like where he comes from.
yeah,
But Evelyn's just like, no, buddy, you're not getting out of that friend zone. I don't care who the freak you are.
he's almost a gentle beast. He's very gentle towards her.
Yes, yes, he does not like anybody threatening her. It's like, you threatening my girl, I'm gonna freaking gut you. Everybody needs somebody like that. But I bet she isn't crying as much as Mexican Iron
I don't
Man will
even
be.
want to think about that.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna have to send Mike a lot of homemade flour
I
tortillas
don't
for
even want to
this.
think about that. Not
I
after the first part. You remember, Lorena?
Oh yeah, because we run that stream with them. It they had it coming. They sincerely had it coming. They really did. I'm sorry because you're sorry, and that they're sorry.
Yeah, that's exactly
I,
what it was like.
I was also bothered in all these episodes from, like, we're watching the first part of this, the first 5 episodes. Tila's push of technology and utter hate and like disgust for magic at this point. And then we're
Mhm.
seeing a total flop as these episodes progress, and all of a sudden she turns into, can I say can I say this or no? I said it backstage.
It's 33 minutes in, so yeah, go ahead.
The rape, pretty much like the Tila Palpatine of this episode, and all of a sudden embraced everything and knew everything about it without training, was able to do all these things and reject things that have been going on for God knows how many long purported lore, and just bestest ever. Like, it literally was that. It was like a flip flop of like, okay, I don't want to acknowledge this, then I'm going to acknowledge this and become the bestest ever. It's like,
I,
it was a flip flop of emotional and what her standards were based off her anger and hurt and rage and supposed betrayal of
right.
other friends. I'm like,
Mm,
no.
And what about the fact that, as they were kind of doing this apology after apology after apology,
mhm.
Tila kind of says something like, well, without Andra, Adam wouldn't be here right now.
Mm.
Yeah.
How could she know that? She doesn't know that for sure.
No, but that's her girlfriend, though.
Well, but we could say the same thing for King Randor in that one scene.
Everyone had a part to play. And
Yes.
I think that kind of felt disingenuous to me. It's kind of like, okay, I'm going to get my girlfriend a job. That's pretty much what it seemed like.
Yeah, it
Because in
was.
the end, you find out, guess what? She's now the new man in arms, and it's just like, why? I don't think she really earned it like that. You know, but like I said, the way that they were playing this up through the whole thing with Andra, and honestly, she really was not needed in this. I really can't think of anything pivotal
Oh,
with her role in this.
she was adamant, like, I gotta get in between Tila's legs. Did you just see what she did? She did something so amazing, so crazy. My tongue's ready. I'm good to go. Let's go, coach. Let me in there. I want to play on the field. Get me in there. And I'm watching this part going, you were almost as close as being that guy from what was it, the Water Boy, where they won the game and he's there in the middle with the nipples in slow motion, like, That's pretty much what I was like. Oh my God, Andrew, stop, calm down.
But to get to oh my gosh, but to get to, and let's see, I noticed some other people in the chat, and actually I'm going to get to a point in a bit that I see somebody, actually two people brought up. When you're speaking out the bestest ever, here's something that really irritated me. There were a lot of things within there, but this is one of the things that irritated me. Okay. The sorceress could never leave Grayskull in her human form. Okay. You'd
Oh,
see her as like a bird or what that's how she could go, but she didn't leave in her human form. So why is it somehow Tila gets to do that?
bestest
Like
ever.
she doesn't have to sacrifice anything because the sorceress is telling her, I had to give you up because I didn't want you to be shackled to the life that I had, because being the sorceress is a heritage, which is a heritage with a lot of responsibility.
And they introduced that in episode 1.
And she's just like, oh well, I'm gonna do it my way. And I'm just like, that's not how this works. You have to give something up. You're not making a sacrifice. It's one of the big things. It's like all the characters in Masters of the Universe has had to make some kind of sacrifice, but Tila doesn't have to make one.
And you're not the same person anymore, right? After you become a sorceress, your priorities have changed. Your whole, way of thinking is shifted. And, your responsibility now is not to yourself. And whether you can sort of like go out and leave the castle, the responsibility is protecting the source, which the castle seems to be, in this particular case. So it was strange that she decided that she didn't have to stay there. Like it was almost like as if she was being, in a certain level of arrogance, I guess, if you will. But I don't know where it came from. I'd been like, why would she think she could do that?
And they didn't explain it, and that kind of gets into what we were all talking about. And I think some of you in the chat have said that the whole thing was rushed. If they would have taken time to explain whatever the heck that loophole is, that all of a sudden she could leave Grayskull, would you think you would kind of like let us in on
And
that? Because old school fans are going to be like, oh no, 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 that's not how this works.
but that brings up a good point then, because no, you nailed it. Because then if her mother, who literally has the magical power, right? So pretty much has a vast knowledge of things. So you can't tell me not in all the years she came across this in the vast knowledge of the power of Grayskull, the power of magic, and be like, oh, there was an answer the whole time. Do you know what I mean? And do you there's one more thing, and I gotta share this quickly too, because I just took this picture because I can't screenshot it. But does anyone else realize that they tried to make Tila also look like Cavill's Superman?
Wait, what?
Yep, there it is in the
Really?
bottom.
Henry Cavill,
Yep.
You
Really?
think that
You know where y'all forgetting this scene?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, and everyone's looking up in the bright light, and then oh
And then
shit, yeah,
and
there's
then
best ever right there, number 2.
and then she turns into Superman, and then she flies down, and
Oh
she can
god,
leave the castle and go wherever she wants
and
to.
she saved Krypton and all the Ewoks from the
Yeah.
Darth Vader of Jingle Bells.
And they all came out and celebrated and tried to cook the robot. Remember that?
It's very good.
But I saw that and I was looking at it, I'm like, that's like savior scene right there. That's like I can help anyone,
Here
even
she
Evil
comes
Lynn. And it's like there was a lot of
gliding
crying.
down.
Yeah,
Now
there
the
was a
other
lot of crying in this too, and I was
There was
expecting
a
that
lot
like
of
rip off
crying.
Discovery and start complimenting hair also in
Yes.
the same scene.
They didn't
The
have
other
they
part
did have conversations in somewhat hallways too, now that I think about it.
Right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm kind of jumping onto you guys your conversations
Hey, now.
too. The other part that's happening is whenever you play a game with, and it's nobody's fault, but with certain kids, and you think that you can make a move and they're like, oh no, you can't do that. And I'm like, but I thought the rule was this. No, the rule is different.
Hmm.
That's what this program feels like, because all the things that we know is the norm for these characters and for the, let's say He-Man,
Hmm.
every time we think that something's going to work out a certain way, they kind of say, no, that's not going to be the rule anymore.
Oh,
Like
speaking of Norm, I'll let you finish before I get started. I'm sorry.
that
Go
is
ahead.
it. That's what I'm saying. Is like sometimes when you play a game with some kids and they make up a game and they say, this is the rule. No, I'm going
Yeah.
to change the rule. Oh, no, let's change it around. Oh, no, you can't hurt them now because I put a force field on them. Now let's change that around. Okay. All right. And then they can zoom back and forth to this other place where you can't touch them. And then It just goes on and on and on and on and on.
Just to like tag on to that. Okay, so we all know from the original He-Man and the 2002 reboot. Yes, I'm acutely aware of that because that's a palate cleanser for this. Trust me, that's freaking awesome. We know Man at Arms adopted Tila, right? We know
Isn't that what they have
right?
said in the first part? Yeah.
Isn't that what they said in the first part? Okay, so why is it in the second part it seems like Man at Arms and the sorceress actually did the deed to have Tila?
Yeah, Tila was adopted by Man at Arms.
It sure didn't seem that way in part 2.
Especially when I got to my
more
love.
intimate, a little bit more
Much
a little
more.
bit more smooth. Man at Arms, he's got another side to him.
Yeah,
man.
he has some Barry White playing a
He charmed the sorceress, and you know it's not easy to charm her
at all. She did not look happy that she, she had to leave him. It wasn't like, look, I trust you. You're a good man. Whatever. I know you're take good care of my baby. Here you go. Kind of like, leave your baby on the, the doorsteps of the church or something like that. That's what I thought. This was just like, okay, well, I didn't expect to get knocked up, but that's what happened. But it's gonna kill me to leave y'all. Kill me to leave like... you. And I'm gonna remember those 6-pack abs for the rest of my life.
Damn, it was good.
Yeah. I was just like, okay, we know what this is about right here.
Yeah, there was some little something going on in the palace, and that something about that water. Even I don't know. I just
someone got power and the gray skull that night.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen that, and it went like right over my head. Even in the 2002 reboot, they did have some verbal sparring back and forth about, her, about the sorceress leaving Tila, between, her and Man at Arms, but there was no hint that there was something carnal that went on. That's what I'm talking about. That's what raised my eyebrow.
Can I ask a serious question? Because I'm actually looking at Tila now. Okay, technically, the sorceress's magic is the power of Grayskull, right? It is a master of the universe power, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so how is it the sorceress doesn't look like Buff Adams over here, and Tila didn't look like Buff Adams, but Evelyn, Sheevil, what does? And why is it that's the only one that changed? Like, usually it goes off your physical stuff. It doesn't make you, like, I understand He-Man, yes, but only certain people get muscly bound. Am I missing something here?
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm hurting people's brains.
I guess, but the only thing that I can think of is that first of all, they phoned this whole design in, and what the thing now is, in order for a woman to quote unquote be powerful, she has to look like a man. And
or have a body that looks like she has a penis.
Yes.
With a gemstone.
I think it's bigger than Adam's.
Yeah, with the gemstone, that
rhinestone genitals. Rhinestone genitals.
I don't know who thought that this was a good idea.
Get a surprise.
Evelyn could have
had a Kinder Egg. Oh, no.
You said Kinder Egg.
I got a surprise, but it ain't the toy I wanted.
It's like she could have, Evelyn could have had her crisis of faith. Okay, I can totally buy that, but why'd you have to make her look like Vera de Milo? I don't. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
How dare you?
What does it add? What does it add to her?
Oh my god. And then I see Evelyn with long hair. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I know. See, that's the hot part. She looked like Daenerys Targaryen, kind of like.
It's not even that. I said this backstage, and I'll even say this live. Evelyn, when you get to like the final episodes and you see Evelyn, you would definitely want to Cool World her. I'm sorry, just laying it out there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she's
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. Well, folks, there are like 30 of you in here watching.
Oh
Thank you
shit.
Oh my
so, so
gosh.
very much hanging out with us. This is the after school
Yes.
special, and I've got my panelists here,
The
and
victims.
Fat Steven Seagal, and we are basically talking
What?
about uh basically this traffic accident known as Masters of the Universe
Straight out of its
revelation. You
man.
know what? But I have to say, if you loved it, you loved it. And nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Um, we're
They
just
even
all talking about it, kind of like in here. And a lot of you guys, as usual, we have the best chat. I am just absolutely, absolutely partial to that. Before I forget, hey, Biggerford Entertainment. This is Enzo Hodges, and he's actually going to be our guest Friday on the lunch table. We're going to be talking Hawkeye. So definitely,
No.
definitely looking forward to that. We might have to give Fat Steven some beer laced cupcakes when we come up with that particular episode. Let's see. Someone said something about Mark Hamill, and I want to bring that.
mm,
I want to bring that up. Uh, I hated that the sucker just like flipping jumped on me. I'm sorry, guys. It's like
no, it's
totally, totally
okay.
jumped,
I
totally, totally, totally jumped on me. And
while you're working on that, I did want to mention that in the first episode there's like a very odd scene where um I guess some of the guards um
Oh,
there's like
Fister and Claw?
yeah, how did you know? And then when he says I'd sure like to fist him, I thought that was like
oh,
I couldn't believe he said that.
I can't believe you
I
just
had to
said that.
stop. I had to
Oh,
pause.
Steven,
I
you should really find
literally
yourself.
had to pause it. First of all, in
Yes.
episode 2, remember you had the no glove, no love comment, and then
Yes.
Yeah.
you had this one. I'm like, no, 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 no. Once is a coincidence. Two, mm-mm,
Are you saying that guards of
mm-mm.
Eternia are literally that troglodytal that they would say something so stupid? It was like looking at the way people got angry about Michael Bay's second Transformers. It was the second or third where they had the two cabs that were talking slang a lot of the time. They found it was like the same type
Oh,
of treatment.
the
Yeah,
Autobot twins. Yeah,
yeah.
that was urban. I kept trying to explain to people the difference,
Urban, my
but
bad. My terminology is
you
off.
know,
Actually, I'm
no,
I'm
no, 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 no.
scared that a child might repeat that.
Yeah,
Yes,
I want
and
to fist
that's
her.
and I'm like, I'm like, I'm sorry. You literally have to be somebody who's like over 80 to not get that connotation. It's different if it's like, I want to fight him with my fists or I want to punch him with my fist, but you didn't. Nah, nah. That just, ugh, ugh,
What
Yeah,
episode was that? It was
grown.
what
it was
episode was that?
episode 1. It's right after Tila wakes from a dream. She finds
Mhm.
Adam bleeding and she heals him, and then we see Duncan. Uh, Something about Skeletor and Evelyn lock Duncan in the dungeon. Skeletor makes Evelyn the new sorceress of Grayskull, and
Right.
Evelyn realizes Skeletor used her, but he also gave her this power. But I don't even know what I'm saying. Adam is alive with Tila's magic, and the king and queen left the palace as the kingdom is shrouded in this darkness. And that's when Skeletor, I guess one of them says, I'd sure like to fist him. And Skeletor makes Eternia citizens an army of the dead. So it was in the episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Wonderful.
know I was very long-winded because there's so much going on in this episode that
It's a ton. It's a ton. Headspace Astronaut says Hamill is an excellent voice actor. He voiced the freaking Joker. He was not right for this role though. Yeah, because I know Mark Hamill has done a lot of voice acting. My favorite voice that he did, the character was Skips in regular show.
I remember
That's
regular
just
show.
me. I liked him as Skips. I thought he was awesome with that. But yeah, I don't his voice doesn't have the gravitas for Skeletor because there's a certain cadence and tone that we're used to of hearing with Skeletor, and it just he did a great job, but it's like the voice actor didn't fit the role, and I don't know if they were casting just because, let's say, Kevin Smith is a complete fanboy of Mark Hamill, which I can understand completely, and decided, oh, we're gonna get him, and put him in this particular role. So and true, he was not given a whole lot to whole lot to
But he
work
sure
with.
was given a lot of portals to jump through.
You it would
Like a
plenty
bazillion portals. Like,
jump
I'm going to
here.
make one here and there and
Hmm.
200 portals. A million portals. Like, what
Here
the
I come out of one and into the other. Let's see, Kathu Papoki Pe'lua. I hope I said that right. Sorry if I messed that
Ooh.
up. I heard the news about He-Man, and wow, how much did they trash the idea of what a character is? Ah, they just and I will say, part 2 actually had a whole heck of a lot more He-Man than part 1 did, and I think that they just didn't really get the essence of who He-Man is. So you're kind of watching it and you're just like, that looks like He-Man, that sounds like He-Man. I've never seen He-Man as Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, or whatever.
Savage He-Man. It's Savage He-Man.
Savage
But
He-Man.
Man.
yeah.
Kill everything.
Here, let me. Is that about right? Is that so people get
Yes.
context?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's exactly it. That's Fisto.
Yes.
He
That's
literally.
the line.
That's the line.
How could you forget that?
I didn't forget it. I just wanted to find out what
No,
scene.
not you. I'm saying in general.
It's I could see him saying something like that, but it's a certain connotation where, like somebody driving around with a license plate that says WTF.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a certain a certain context, but it just my God.
I like how his thumb has a little curvature on it too. Why is his fist smaller now than it was before though?
And
it's a big ass fist. Like,
it really is.
It really is. They realize what they've done.
PKL Entertainment says, "Hi, Lorena. How are you? I'm doing great and glad you're here in the chat with us. Overall, part 2 had potential, but was too rushed and lacking at the end." And and I agree, and I believe this is what we were talking about backstage as well. It's like they tried to cram too much stuff, and it was too rushed. So I don't know if maybe they were packing it with a bunch of stuff to try to guarantee that they got a second season. But it was hard. Some parts were so hard to follow. I mean, I have to go back and watch it. Well, not the part where Evelyn turns into Sheevelyn, but it was. How about you guys? What's your
My head is still spinning from all of it. It really is. It was so much to absorb.
It's like a 3-ring circus kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a lot. There's just so much going on. And lacking at the end. Yeah, the end, I will say the effect at the end was actually pretty cool, but it's kind of like, why should we care who Motherboard is? I there's no reason for me to care who she is. So we're just kind of just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Apparently she has a bat signal too, but
that's bad layering too, because that means that who Motherboard represents has been here since the first part months ago, and you're telling me that all of this is already in dissension, and that party didn't already move in during this.
Now,
So
see, that would have been your B story. They didn't have a B story in this, really. That would have been the perfect B story. It's like, who's really the villain here?
I also don't think that at the end that Evelyn would have thrown away her scepter or whatever that thing was, the globe.
No,
she wouldn't do that.
It was, hey Zach, so it's a flop, all right.
She would have turned it into something she liked. That's what Evelyn would have done, because she's just too cool for that. It's just I don't want to think that they broke Evelyn.
And I think that's what hurts the most because Evelyn was such a strong character.
It was
You know,
hot.
she didn't care. Yeah, she was. She was hot. She's like,
She
I'll
was
double
hot.
cross anybody. I'll double cross Skeletor. I don't care who you are.
They even
You know.
post her hot, like in the beginning of the promo of the episode. She's kind of like
Yes, on the
laying down there.
side.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I thought that was hot.
It was hot.
Yeah, Andre is probably thinking of ways to financially sink Smith. Kevin Smith at this point should actually go work at the gas station mini bar.
He's done that already in Clerks.
Yeah.
Red Bank, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I so don't freaking care about Clerks 3, which is a shame because I loved Clerks 1 and Clerks 2.
Yeah.
I really did. Hello, Fish Ranch Home. This hell everyone, it's me, Straps. Well, Straps, I don't think I've seen you before, so welcome. Welcome to my chat. And Raptors, of course, laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Headspace, I have heard about Castlevania. I will say the animation is gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous in this. It really is. But yeah, I had heard about Castlevania, which I have not seen, but I've heard great things about it. It's a shame when animation gets excellent animation gets wasted on stories that are not
Can
so
you
good.
can you imagine the animators having to do this? They're like, "You want me to what? But that looks like a dick." All right, fine, we'll push it through. This is they said they wanted this. Okay,
All
fine. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I don't
I get.
make it anonymous. I don't want my
Okay.
name attached to that shit.
But Qui-Gon, even if that's true, why would Evelyn have that as her headdress though? When it's Skeletor imbuing the powers of Grayskull on her.
The bat is Hordak's symbol. It suggests Hordak will be the main villain to make it. Oh, okay, Qui-Gon Gimli. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
That was
you.
driving me nuts because I'm like, I'm supposed to know something about
Yeah, I
this.
did a red outline of Hordak himself, supposedly, but I never saw it.
Hello, Viking out of time. Oh, God. Fisto seems to be in a festive mood these holidays.
Happy
Let's
Festivus.
see. Let's see what happens over the holidays, guys. This is for us here in the panel on the chat. Let's see how many children repeat that phrase because they've watched the show and they just are saying it because they heard it in the program.
I heard it on He-Man.
Hey, man.
What do you mean
Oh
you heard
my
it on He-Man?
gosh.
He-Man would never have anything like that. And I want you to stop saying that. And then the next thing you know, they play it.
Oh, we're gonna get Fist Man. That'll be like a spinoff. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna get a spinoff called Fist Man.
It is. Oh my God. So
Oh, it's interesting what
see.
Luis X Sparrow is saying that
Yes.
from the spoilers I've heard, I gather they changed some backstory so it's no longer pretending to be part of the original series.
Gee, I wonder why they would do that. Could it be all that criticism? Nah, why would they do it? Nah. I know that noise.
Could not be reached for further comments. Skeletor's junk was glowing behind his codpiece. Probably. Probably.
Lorraine, what's this article that you have up now?
Oh, I just pulled this up here from Screen Rant, how Netflix fixed major revelations complaints. And what they said here is kind of something that I also thought as well. In an effort to appease affronted fans, Masters of the Universe Revelations Part 2 fights with itself in an attempt to retcon its own first half. So this whole article pretty much goes into a lot of things that we've been saying here on the panel, how like Tila's demeanor from being, I hate magic and you all suck and how dare you not tell me about Adam and it's all about me. Her attitude softens up in part 2. Evelyn, who actually had the strongest story, now all of a sudden it's just like they just pretty much, destroyed her in a way. And the whole thing is like basically they like overcorrected. So that's what they're thinking. That's what basically this article here is saying. So do you folks on the panel, do you think that they overcorrected in part 2?
I think it was just a mess.
Yeah, I agree with Stephen.
Do you think it's like because I do agree. I do agree. It's a total mess. Do you think they were probably doing too they tried to do too much to try to save things and it just all turned out to just be this there's really nothing else to describe it as but, as but a mess.
They went from a survey about everything that was wrong, and they took the list of things on the survey and added it into the series.
Yeah. It's like they were trying to fix everything they heard from complaints, but it was already at the point now where they couldn't do that. That's just a weird pain.
Safe
This
to
was
say. Oh, go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
Maria. No,
I
go
was
ahead.
like, it's like He-Man, Masters of the Universe on acid or something. I don't know.
It kind of was in a way. Oh, hold on one second. Oh, wow, Andre, thank you.
What? Oh my God! Thanks,
Andre.
Sandra. Wow.
Says part 2 was filled to the brim with obscure references to its own detriment. Hordak made sense though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just I'm still embarrassed that I could not pick up that symbol was Hordak.
Well, there
But
was
yeah,
so much in the episodes, Lorena. It's not like there wasn't other distractions.
true. Because it seemed like they were basically throwing everything at the wall and seeing, what stuck. And it's just hard, to keep all of that stuff straight. Yeah. But thank you so much, Andre. I appreciate that. Of course, for people who don't know, when the first part came out, I was on Midnight's Edge with and we were not well, none of us really were freaking happy about what they did to it at all. But yeah, Headspace Astronaut, these scripts are probably locked and animated way before the first part premiered. Which is interesting because I guess after I don't know, I guess because like I said earlier, if they'd like written the first part and then handed them off, so they were writing a second part and probably decided, hey, maybe we should try to fix stuff, but it didn't come off well.
Right.
It was just like overcorrection. Let's see here. I hate it. I hate it when the chat like jumps on me and I'm trying to find out where this stuff is. Hey, Griffin Turbo. I was confused. It was implied that Man at Arms and Sorceress were lovers. I didn't get that implication until this part.
I mean, they were in this place that looked like it was a intimate setting. It didn't they weren't at the park.
No, they weren't like hanging out at Grayskull, like in the 2002 reboot and having this discussion about you should tell, Tila who you are. This was literally, it looked like, the honeymoon suite at Caesar's Palace. No other way around that. Oh, wait. Please go into detail about the divorce in the show. King Miro and Queen Marlena were going to get a divorce. Okay.
Oh, no.
Which after school special did they decide to drop in, with Adam basically saying, you guys were going to divorce because you didn't know that I was He-Man and I was going to feel so bad because you were going to split up because of me.
I just realized my parents are human. And they told me they love me, and I pooped in their coffee, and I yelled Grayskull. Come on.
Your dad and I aren't together anymore. Just watch this He-Man season.
Someone sent us off to this obscure location with a whole bunch of soldiers to hear us bitch and moan about who's getting half of Adam's stuff, who's taking home the cat, whose man gets what arm,
No changes were made in part 2 in response to part 1.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Yeah, because we were postulating about that earlier.
Mhm.
And because, thank you. I'm not crazy because they made it up. Duncan is Tila's adopted father, not biological. Fisto is Tila's biological father.
What?
What?
Really?
What?
What?
Why do I
Fisto
not
is
recall
Tila's
that?
biological father. Well, 'cause that's why they're was that why they were standing side by side in that one scene? Because the red hair. What?
I... Wait. Luis X. Sparrow says not in the original 80s show he wasn't.
He wasn't what, Louise?
That Fisto wasn't Tila's biological father. I'm a fan of soap opera, so this like one of the biggest storylines is, are you my daddy or not?
It's gonna be on Maury Povich or like Montel later. You are not the father.
It was that was that just seemed really crazy with how they opened that up.
Thank
Fisto
you,
was not her
Louise.
father on the 80s show. Okay.
Thank you,
So
Louise.
was that from the 2002 reboot?
I don't know.
In the original, Duncan found Tila in Zor's nest. Let's see. It was implied he might be the father in the 80s. It was okay. Okay. All right. That's the chunk that I'm missing. I'm slowly getting through 2002.
Okay.
Slowly getting to 2000. But that really threw me off. I'm like, what? Yeah, they look like they were a lot more than friends and friends with benefits. Freaking at all. Let's see. Hello, Zelda, Princess of Heart. Good to see you. Honestly, that Darkling belongs in Son of Zeus and not in Masters of the Universe, in my opinion.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm. I'm trying to remember what is Son of Zeus.
Hercules.
Is it anime? Is it that? Because Dark. It
Oh,
was kind of.
ah,
It was
yeah.
kind of. It was kind of dark, and it did seem out of place. Especially the Shiva Lin thing. Goodness, I'm never gonna get that out of my head. I kid you not.
He, ma'am.
Good. I'm glad I will never watch this car wreck. You're not missing anything, really. I honestly, I know, and Andre said this before. Just watch the 2002 reboot. Just watch that. It's the best palate cleanser. Let's see, making the men look like ladies and the ladies into men. Exactly. Oh, which reminds me, did
Ooh.
you notice in part 2, as soon as Tila became the new sorceress, her hair came back.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah,
Her
but he
hair came
blended
back,
in.
her boobs came back. It's just like, okay, interesting.
We have a special announcement from Frank Costanza.
Frank Costanza.
Yeah, I'm sharing it right now.
Frank Costanza.
Frank is happy Festivus.
As he has his list of grievances now.
And feats of strength, because that fist is a feat of
Oh
strength.
Lord, here we go. Wait, no, Fisto is Sorceress's baby daddy. How's that? This is why
Yeah,
my
with
chat's the
the turkey
best.
baster.
There you go for the pilgrim hat and the turkey baster, just so I cover all my bases of inclusion.
Just in time for Thanksgiving.
These are the
You
days of
know
our
what?
returning.
Her
It's
baby daddy.
only
Oh, thank you, D.
yeah,
Martin.
only Maury can find. Okay, so whoever memes that, I
You
must see it.
are the father.
Father.
They got to put Fisto's head on that dancing dude's body from that one episode. You are not the fun. He started breaking out on stage. That was like a meme and a gif forever. Just got to throw that in there. Fistivus for the rest of us. Yes, that's right, Keely. You got it.
I'm so old. I didn't watch much He-Man. I just know I don't want Kevin Smith to do a Yogi Bear reboot. Don't let him touch Yogi Bear. Please don't.
So they take deep breaths.
Go hide it. Go hide it. Go hide it. Kathy says a show with Lorena, Andre, Mexican Iron Man, Tom, and Script Doctor. Please just tear into it. Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
that would be a good idea. Sometimes that does happen on Midnight's Edge.
It
We'll all be
happens
on the same
quite
panel.
frequently, I
Mm-hmm.
think.
It does. It does. Usually, if I have time to get away from get away from work for lunch and pop on, usually I don't, because it's getting too close to when every piece of software has to be deployed before they lock stuff down. So now they're going to look crazy. Yeah, they're going to look crazy. Let's see here. Hide all of our childhood cartoons. Yes, please hide them all so he doesn't flip and get to see it
Oh, get rid of my
at all.
picture. Oh, it's all over now.
What? No, wait, you put it back.
No, I won't put it back. No, I'm straight out of it, ma'am. I'm back to here.
No, please don't say Yogi and Boo Boo selling weed on the park entrance.
But the thing is with this is like this had potential to be all 10 episodes if they contained what they had in this and just kept it through the whole thing. Like they had, at least they knew that there was something there they could have made great, but they jumbled it all in 5, rather than just spread it out in 10 and get rid of the angry Michelle Gellar stuff. It just gone along with the whole something else. It's like there was something in all this mumble jumble that could have been a baseline story for all 10 episodes. And it's like, why do you have to release half a story before you realize you effed up, and then you're playing catch up and band-aid on the second one, even if that wasn't the whole pretense and it has nothing to do with what was being criticized or complained about. It feels like, why is it always at the end we start seeing how much we're not doing at the beginning? Because the story has 3 parts, right? The start, the middle, and the end.
Right.
And yet it feels like the end was trying to be all 3 at once.
Do you think that perhaps that's probably the fault of the showrunner? And here's the reason why I say that. If you remember season 2 of The Mandalorian, because I almost quit watching that halfway through, the episodes were up and down and all over the place and didn't even seem to start to get good until almost past the halfway mark. Do you think that perhaps maybe that might have been the problem with Masters of the Universe? You didn't have someone keeping tight control over the storyline. Because if it started off as hot trash, at least tie up the hot trash ends the best way that you possibly can. And it seemed like with part 2, they just spewed everything out to see what landed so they can make future seasons. That's what it seems like to me, what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of Excel spreadsheet use on this one because they would need one in order to keep track of
God.
everything that
It was like that Disney whiteboard. Dinosaurs, High Republic. Dinosaurs, High Republic. Geo the Rock.
Glad it's not just me, because I'm like, I cannot. Let's see, we have the Walking Dead tribute, going on with with the Army of the Dead, and then Sheevelin and
Tarzan, Conan.
and then you have the parents that almost divorced, and now they're super protective of what their son is. Why the heck do you have He-Man landed on the windshield?
I was just thinking that one right at the same
Just
time.
be
Mom, can you
home
put
in
me over
time
there?
for dinner. I mean,
Oh my god! Oh my god! Ugh.
oh,
That felt like a
man.
really bad sitcom trope. Like someone was actually watching a
It
show while
did.
writing this and just threw it in there.
God, it's just nuts.
How can we make this more?
Andre says, latest rumor, Yogi the Bear reboot tailored for modern audiences coming to HBO Max from Kevin Smith. I hope there's a similar show on right now called Jellystone, which is actually funny.
Jellystone. I think I've heard of that.
Which is actually funny. I watched about 2 episodes. I got involved, so I couldn't go. I haven't gone back. But from what I saw, was actually pretty freaking funny. I mean, to the point where, Captain Caveman, he was complaining that his van got blowed up because he still had payments to make on it. So it was just like in jokes like that from Hanna-Barbera cartoons. So Jellystone is actually pretty good. But I don't want Kevin Smith touching any of that. Yogi Bear, like Betty White, must be protected. Don't know.
Lorena, I got some serious questions right now because I just found a scene from this Jellystone. And I have questions.
Hang on.
I have questions.
If I haven't seen this episode, I won't be able to answer.
She keep kicking.
Sorry. Oh, because I thought it was extra.
My future is becoming apparent.
I don't remember that episode, but I do know that she's a doctor.
What kind of doctor? May I ask?
Proctologist, it looks like from that.
That's definitely a proctologist position. Like, unless he's having spinal issues or what is this?
Yeah, I don't know the context for that one. I haven't gotten to it yet. Yes, Headspace Astronaut. I do remember Brave Star. I do.
The yoga room was a joke.
Which one?
Andre was pulling your leg.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just said so.
That was a little too good, Andre. It was a little too good. Oh man! Don't forget Orko, Doctor Strange, and Gandalf the White rolled into one.
Yeah.
I'm so not happy what they. It was good to see Orko come back, but I didn't like what they did with him.
I didn't like those portals, Lorena. I didn't care for that.
I liked how fast Taylor was able to use a teleportation spell, and after being so anti-magic, it was my mother's spell, and my mother's before me spell, and I memorized it while she faded it away into the attributions.
Yes, and there was Viking out of time. Actually, it's a good point. Let's see here. One of Masters of the Universe Revelations' problems is with the writing. It's not well paced, rushed at times, slow at times. True. It's kind of just like all over the place. There isn't like a tight timeline.
No, there wasn't. I did like the battle scenes, though, and I'm going to give it some props. Like the battle scenes and the fight scenes, like when we got Savage He-Man and the other fight scenes with everyone else, those are pretty well done. The only thing I have a gripe with one of the battle scenes is when he was getting attacked by all of the residents of the city. They were now Skeletor's minions. They were trying to do like that rotational scene, right, where they're fighting all these guys in the backdrop, supposed to do a rotation. It felt like they didn't nail the rotation on it. But other than that, like I did like the battles. It was like some people said, it looked like Dragon Ball was popping in there.
Hold on a second. Andre, I'm so sorry. I literally just checked Twitter. Give me a second and I'll send you the link. I'm sorry.
What?
Go ahead.
The fight scenes were good. But they screwed up one of the scenes. I don't think they got the rotational right, and I'll have to double check it. But it felt like they were trying to do the fighting stationary while the room was rotating, and it didn't feel like the room was rotating in the correct animation style it was supposed to have. I don't know if you remember that scene with Savage He-Man and the purple people. What?
Remember the purple
Sure.
people?
Yes.
What?
Remember it.
Here we go. Hi, Andre.
Hey,
Oh my God.
how's it going?
Hey, how are
Hello.
you?
Oh, I'm good. I just finished watching Masters of the Universe Revelation.
And?
I have to think a little bit before I can follow. I know I had huge issues with it, but I had significantly less, or at least different issues with it than I did part one.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah. Like to me, it's actually part one that's like the huge problem here. I can't say that part two fixed them like that review, which is ridiculous because those problems are unfixable, but it didn't repeat all of them. And it didn't go in places that I was worried it was going to go. So that was good. But it was just so incredibly over the top. It's like the most over the top thing I've ever seen. No. She just decides that there's no God, there's no order in the universe. So we're gonna wipe out not just the universe, but the entirety of existence. Because it's an empty, meaningless universe anyway. Like, could you make the stakes any higher? You know those videos that you have on YouTube where you have like the universe in scale, where you start with like the moon or something, and then you see like Earth and the different stars, and everything gets ridiculously big. and then you get into like the nebulas and galaxies and supermassive black holes, and at some point you just like fall out because your mind just can't handle the scale.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that they did the same thing here. That they wanted the scales to be so unbelievably big that they certainly lost me as an audience. It was just like, oh, whoa, it's just too much. You're just throwing too much at the wall here.
And that was my feeling as well. It was just like, what are you going to do next? And it just seemed to be one thing after the other, after the other, after the other, and it's just like I can't.
At some point, you just tune out. It's like you're asking too much. Because I can like imagine Kevin Smith being there thinking, "Oh, whoa!" And then what we do this, and the audience are gonna be like, "Oh my god, this is so exciting! Whole existence." But no, people are gonna tune out because you're just asking too much.
Do you think the later 5 episodes of part 2 was so convoluted with different types of everythings that it just makes everything feel like it wasn't actually solved, and the end isn't really feeling like the end? I know we had that one scene with the bat, but it felt like everything was still left at untied ends in a way.
Yeah, kind of. They obviously left like the door wide open for season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, to me, it felt like the end of this particular storyline, but you
Mhm.
didn't really change that much. I mean, Skeletor can be brought back at any time. I mean, what happened to him towards the end here, it's no worse than what happened to him at the end of season 1 into the 2000X series. If anything, that looked like a worse predicament. So he can return, and if he returns, we already know he's going to be the same unchanged Skeletor. So there's no reason for that to change.
Mhm.
We have like Tila. Yeah, she's the sorcerer now, but she decided that, hey, the rules don't apply to me. I don't have to abide by them. So she's still Tila. So you still have
Mhm.
like them there, and they even brought back the romance between her and Adam, and now they both know everything about each other. So like, yeah. So it's the path to go forward is wide open. Didn't
Hmm.
really feel any like anything was really concluded in that sense.
What did you think about the rules not applying to Tila? That
I thought
that
it was
really rubbed me the wrong way.
ridiculous. It's the most stupid thing I've ever seen. You know what I was thinking? That made me think of Aladdin. You know,
Mm-hmm.
where you have like the genie in a bottle,
Mhm.
and it has like all of the powers of the cosmos, but it's a slave to the bottle.
Yeah.
It's bound by some rules in there. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter how powerful it is, it's still bound by those rules. I mean, even in the Disney movie, that is how Aladdin beats Jafar by the end, by tricking him to become a more powerful genie, but still a genie who's bound and a slave to the bottle. He can't
Right.
Yeah.
escape that.
It was
Until
like
it's just going to decide that, you know what, I don't care about the rules. They don't apply to me. That kind of like implies that it wasn't like that there was a choice in the matter. That all the previous sorcerers, they just made the choice to cut with everything. It was something of a recommendation, but it wasn't that they were literally tied to Grayskull like a genie in a bottle. I thought that was completely ridiculous and really weak by the writers. Just like removed any tension, any sacrifice.
Mhm.
The previous sorcerer had to make a sacrifice. Tila didn't. She just decided, I want my cake and eat it too.
It's like getting everything handed to her, and I think we had brought this up earlier when we talked about the same thing with, like, Rey and, in the, sequel trilogy for Star Wars. It's like Tila didn't have to make a sacrifice. Her mother did, her father did, but she doesn't have to.
Yeah, no, and not only that, she makes their sacrifice look ridiculous. She was like, well, I'm not you, so I'm not going to do
Mhm.
what you did. And then the implication is, well, then they could have lived together the whole time all along. Was it just like some stupid religion that made them do that? It obviously wasn't something that they were bound to, unless her will that I'm going to do it my way was somehow stronger than the shackles to cast the Grayskull.
Does it also seem like it was also like kind of like an insult to the sacrifice her mother made for her
Exactly.
in a way, and just like
Exactly.
you just slapped Laura in the face and like something that most people know, and it's
Yeah.
like
And
your sacrifice wasn't worth it.
I don't think the writers even realized. I think that this bunch of writers were so inept that they didn't realize, because looking at the series as a whole, the writing here is completely incompetent. It's all over the place. It's like up and down, back and forth, some supernatural here, something grounded there, and something way, way meta here. And it seems like you have like a writer's room of people who think they're smart, but really they're just high. And high people tend to think that they're smart without actually being. I mean, some of the dumbest things I've ever heard have come out of the mouths of high people who think they like share the secrets of the universe and have mind blowing revelations. Like, dude, no, you might as well have been drunk, because yeah, I've never heard you sound like this dumb, and that's what I think of the writer's room. Someone who think themselves smart, but they're just too high to realize how dumb they really are.
I described it as Masters of the Universe on acid.
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, there must have been some uppers, downers, acid, shroom, ayahuasca, something must have been in that writer's room. I don't know what.
I think it was
But
peyote. Peyote sums
maybe,
it all up.
maybe it was peyote. I don't know. But whatever it was, it didn't do them or us or anyone any favors.
No. Is there anything you did like of it? Sorry, Andrew, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, by all means, by all means. Yeah, I kind of did like the way that Evelyn was able to trick the sword from Skeletor. I thought that was pretty cool.
I was waiting
because,
for 7 minutes more music.
Yeah, exactly. Because like Evelyn and Skeletor, they've always been like implied to have a sexual relationship, and here it was like made explicit, like I want you, but not in that form, because I'm not going to survive that. And you see him looking down. Guess what he's looking at? And he's like, yeah she's probably right. And, and it's been a while, so it's worth letting go of the power for this.
Were you hoping?
Like any man, he's a complete sucker. I mean, if he had been an outside observer to the situation, if he had watched someone else in there, he would never ever have fallen for it. But like any man, when he's there himself, he's going to fail.
Were you hoping at any point for her just to suddenly just all of a sudden switch into Harley Quinn and go, "Oh, Mr. J," right as he starts going to the?
They already were to the Joker and Harley Quinn. I mean, the whole thing about like this toxic and abusive relationship, that was never part of Masters of the Universe. Evelyn was never ever abused by Skeletor. Also in that way, yeah, he would say mean things and stuff like that, but he would never go too far. I mean, this is something that's been clear in many, many things, that Skeletor, he's very well aware that a direct confrontation with Evelyn, he doesn't know that he would come out on top of that. So like this thing about her being the survivor of domestic abuse, that was like one of the many, many ripoffs. In this case, that was the Harley Quinn Joker ripoff. Totally.
And that was just really insulting to me. And I know we'd actually talked about this a little bit earlier on.
I thought that was so dumb.
It wasn't even necessary. And people who watched Masters of the Universe know, like, out of the two between Skeletor and Evelyn is obviously the smarter one.
She's the one on top.
Yes, she's the one who's who stays on top. She doesn't let anybody get over on her. So it just makes me wonder what, well, no, not at least not those. Which makes me wonder why they thought writing something like this was going to be appealing.
What did you think about the fact that Evelyn was what I would consider very sexy in episodes 1 through 5, and then in 6 through 10, she has quite a transformation.
I prefer the earlier part better. Let's just put it that way. And the transformation, I mean that seems like the war on femininity again, because like we established during part one batch of episodes, no woman can get a body like that without excessive use of testosterone and other male hormones and steroids and sugar and what have you not, whatever can be pumped in to basically start like transgender treatment as the only way to develop a physique like that. And I don't get the point. I mean, it's not feminine, and by feminine I mean it's not something that a woman's body can do natural without extensive chemical additives.
Because you're pretty much changing your genetics at a point. You're changing your physical dynamic, and you need like the hormone treatment and everything else. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Like the kind of physique that we see right now is simply not hormonally possible for a woman to get. I mean, testosterone is the only thing that can produce a build like that, and the only way that a woman can get that kind of a build is with testosterone injections, and with that comes more than just the build.
Yeah, I actually
really
read
just a face change. Look at that.
I read a book about that actually, and when I lived in California, some of the female bodybuilders would actually come into the gym, and you can tell the ones who were just natural bodybuilders, and there's more like fitness, as opposed to, the ones taking let's see, performance enhancing drugs. So
you can also tell on their face because they develop like this really squared face with masculine features. Again, that's like a byproduct of the testosterone. Doesn't affect only the muscles.
And what was your impression of this costume that Stephen has on there? Especially the lower half of the costume.
Oh, sorry. There we go. My bad.
Yeah.
That looks like something that was designed by Jean-Paul Gaultier. You know what I mean?
I said codpiece earlier.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that, but yeah, then we're thinking in the exact same ways. I mean, this looks like something that someone that is fundamentally more interested in a man has designed for a woman that he wants to be a man. That's kind of what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
It just seems like to me they just got really lazy here. And rather than draw like a female with more muscle on her that actually looks like a female, they just decided to go with this because from the neck down, it just looks like a dude.
I have a perfect example. The 2000 redesign of Evelyn compared to this. Imagine like how good was not that compared to this?
Way better.
It was
no
way
mistaking,
better.
no mistaking that she was a woman.
Trying to find the right one.
Evelyn is just
Evelyn, yeah, that's a good point there. And BK Panther is making a really good point here because it's going to get in quite late here, so I can't stay for long. But
no, I'm sorry, I didn't see your message earlier.
No, that's all right.
That's all right. Just wanted to bring you on because we're actually about to wrap up anyway. But yes, Dark Shadow Logan, the 2002 series was a masterpiece compared to this.
The 2002 series was a masterpiece compared to any cartoon reboot you care to mention, but especially compared to this.
Yeah. But this is like really, really amazing brain bleach that stands well on its own. Watch that, trust me. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We so appreciate it. It's been a great time hanging out with all of you guys, and so thankful Andre could pop in and talk about seeing this as well. So, folks, we are going to sign off here. It is about to be the Thanksgiving Day weekend holiday here in the U.S. So I won't be streaming again until Friday with Enzo Hodges from Biggerford Entertainment because we are going to be talking Hawkeye. So that's gonna be
When does that come
interesting.
out?
Tomorrow, isn't it?
Tomorrow. Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh God, I gotta put myself through more stuff. Oh my
It could, you know what? It could be worse. I could be making you watch Cowboy Bebop reboot on Netflix.
I won't touch that, but I might as well watch that while playing Battlefield 2042. So I have crap in both stimulating eyes. This is gonna be good. Oh
My God, trust me,
my God.
you don't know, you don't do it.
I'm
Really,
gonna watch it.
just
I'll
don't
give it
do
a
it.
shot.
Okay, folks. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I so appreciate it. Please do hit that like button. Hey, Kaylee, good seeing you. And we will see you next time.